What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. As you would have just seen on the screen there, we still have 25 games remaining for the FUT Champs gameplay from last weekend. I know it's already Wednesday that you're seeing this. I've got a lot to get through. I've got 4 videos pre-edited, so I'm going to try and record, edit, render and upload all of those in the next 48 to 72 hours. Just to make sure that we can catch up with things for next weekend's Weekend League. With that being said, I just want to give again a huge thank you to you guys and show my gratitude for the support, not just over this past few days with all the troubles that you would have undoubtedly read about or heard about, just in general throughout my YouTube career. It's amazing to have such an incredible fan base for such a long period of time. Like, there are not many YouTubers that have been around for as long as me. And that have been, essentially the forefront of their kind of industry, their community for as long as me. We come up against, by the way, Epsilon Aero, another one of the pro players that we played. We played so many pros and top 100s this Weekend League. It's no wonder that I had one of my worst Weekend Leagues. But as I say, guys, just want to again say thank you. I want to leave what happened in the past and move forwards. But that's not to say that I didn't read and appreciate all the messages and gestures of goodwill from you guys. I did read so many of them. There was over 3,000 comments on the last video, and I sat there for a few hours late last night just reading through all of them. And I feel very touched. I feel like I genuinely have been offered a second chance in this industry, which is crazy because it's not even often that people get a first chance in this industry. So for you guys to allow me the opportunity to continue to carry on and provide for my family through this way, through the joys of playing FIFA and uploading to YouTube, I can't thank you guys enough. I can't thank you enough. Anyway, got some comments from the last video. Just to say again, I've got 4 videos. So what you're going to see this video today at 10 PM. What I'll try and do is upload one at like 3 PM tomorrow and then 10 PM again. And then 3 PM on Friday and then 10 PM on Friday. And that should hopefully catch us up to where we are in the series. As you can see, I ended up losing 3-1 to Epsilon Aero. It was just too good for me. It's just too good for me. I did give him a bit of a tough game until the second goal. He scored that header with Clive. He had 3 corners throughout the duration of the game. The first corner, he got his head on the ball exactly in the same manner as how he scored his second goal, and it hit the post and went out. The second corner went in, and the third corner, he got his head to it, and my keeper just kept the ball out. He just made a save. You can see by the match stats, although I did generate a few chances, I didn't have good enough possession. His passing was better, his shooting was better. But again, this game here, losing 3-1 in a contested game, not a closely contested game, but I wasn't blown out the water. I wasn't destroyed. Losing 3-1 to a pro player, not a competitive player, a pro player, shows how close I am to hitting those heights. My biggest problem is my lack of consistency. So losing 3-1 to him, I was actually relatively happy with the outcome. I've played pro players before. Sometimes I get wins. Sometimes I just get blown out the water. Sometimes I have indifferent games. But I think in that game against Epsilon Aero, I felt like I played good FIFA. My focus levels were high. And although I still came out as the loser in the game, I felt like I'd done myself a solid service. Now, the reason why I showed that free kick that I screwed up there is because this is how I concede almost all of my goals. I have an attacking opportunity. I get countered. I actually defended it quite well. I could have cleared the ball. I tried to play my way out of defence. I gave up possession in defence and I conceded a goal. That's one of the ways I concede most of my goals that I would love to be able to fix in the near future. Now that my mind is not on another planet at the moment, like it has been especially over the last couple of weeks, I can really sit here and dedicate time to investing in how to benefit my gameplay. Really try and figure out what isn't working, because I know what does work. I know what does work in this game. I know that low driven shots work. I know that triangle passing moves work. I know left trigger, right trigger works. I know the backwards dribble works. I know what does work. I need to figure out what isn't working for me so I can rectify that and improve that, That's kind of the aim going forwards. However, to get some comments from you guys, Soccer Fan says, guys, is it more beneficial for me to buy squad fitness or open bronze packs of fitness? Please reply. And we've had a lot of discussion about fitness over the last few episodes. You know, a lot of stuff has been said and gone on about fitness and a lot of ideas. And there's a few ways to do fitness right now. And I'll run you through them. The first way is to just buy fitness cards. I would suggest buying the bronze squad fitness cards through the week. Through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, you can typically get them for around 600 to 700 coins. And then through the weekend, they typically go up to 12 to 1400 coins. So not only is there an avenue to make profit there, but also you can just get yourself fitness cards for relatively cheap. You know, you're paying 600 coins. Let's say you buy them for 700 coins and you apply one every 2 games. You only make probably about 1,000 to 1,200 coins in those 2 games. So your coin balance through the gameplay alone isn't going to be that great. Interestingly, through Foot Champions, I don't even need, like, I have so many fitness items all the time and contracts just because of the rewards that are available in this game, that there is an argument to be made that another way that you can generate fitness is by using the prizes that you get given. Not only from Foot Champions, because you might not be the best player, you might finish in silver, for example. Silver still offers really good prizes, by the way, that will still give you some fitness items. But also, like, marquee matchups are a good way to generate fitness items because they give you packs that give you fitness cards. You've got the Rio Ferdinand SBC right now that gives you packs that gives you fitness cards. Like, you can mitigate a lot of you needing to buy fitness cards by just not selling the fitness cards that you get. So the way one is to buy the bronze fitness cards. The squad fitness cards would probably be preferable. And you'll probably end up having to spend 700 coins for every 2 games, 3 games at a stretch. If you're the kind of guy that doesn't mind playing on 90 fitness for a game, you could do it every 3 games, which would be pretty good. Way 2 is to just use the fitness cards that you generate through playing the game to mitigate the fitness cards that you would have needed to buy, and then buy any supplementary fitness cards to kind of like keep you topped up to make sure you never run out. Way 3 is to use a second team or an alternate team. What I mean by an alternate team is that when you have a second team, you literally switch teams. You have one team on the bench, one team on the screen. Once that team on the screen has played a game or 2 and is tired, you switch to the team on the bench. The team on the bench, the new team on the bench now generates a fitness back, while the old team that was on the bench gets fitness. With an alternate team, what this means is that you'll have your base 11, and then you'll have 6 or 7 players on the bench or reserves that you'll rotate in and out. For example, you might play a formation that requires 2 strikers. So your 2 strikers are Agüero and Sturridge, but then on the bench you could have, say, Loic Remy. So when Agüero is tired, Remy will fill in the game. And when Sturridge is tired, Remy will fill in the game. And in the games where neither of them are tired, as we pack a one to watch, by the way, we did the one to watch upgrade pack. We got Draxler, which is amazing. When neither Sturridge or Agüero would be tired, Remy gets to sit back on the bench and regenerate his fitness. So you don't need, in a 2-striker formation, you don't need 2 backup strikers to replace game in, game out. You need 1 backup striker to just fit in the gaps when the other man's tired, and it saves you a huge amount of fitness. But the problem with that is that quite often you have to sacrifice certain things in your team to make that happen. What I mean by that is, like, for me, for example, I have 3 centre-backs that I don't mind using, Eric Bailly, Chris Smalling, and informed Winston Reid. The problem is, I can use Bailly and Smalling together, no problem, because they get strong links to each other and strong links to De Gea in goal. The problem comes when I put in Winston Reid, is that when I had, for example, Marcelo in at left back, Reid was only on 8 chemistry, and now that I have Florenzi at right back, Reid and or Smalling will only get 8 chemistry. So I'm making a sacrifice to get them into the team, and that's not necessarily beneficial. So there are a few ways like that, and then the final way to get fitness cards, if you don't put money into this game, if you don't buy FIFA points and just have like an abundance of fitness cards, the final way to do it is through the bronze pack method. You obviously get unlimited fitness cards in the bronze pack method. You can generate coins off the bronze pack method, and it's time consuming and it's quite tedious at times. And it fills your club full of items that it's hard to manage. It's really difficult to manage a club that has got an abundance of bronze cards. And we'll actually talk about that a little bit more in the near future. But ultimately the bronze pack method is the most efficient way in terms of cost, but not in terms of time. And I think squad rotation or alternative squad players is the most efficient way in terms of time, not necessarily in terms of cost, and not necessarily beneficial in terms of gameplay. So those are your options for fitness, and you feel free to use one or use a multitude of all of them to help generate your fitness. You know, it might be a case where you do a bit of bronze pack method. You know, you might, let's say you play 4-3-2-1 like I do. You might have 2 strikers in your team that you absolutely love and you don't mind rotating them. Thus, you now need 1 less fitness card. You also might have, like for me personally, like I played a 4-3-2-1 at the moment. I have Hazard, Son, Ibrahimovic, Theo Walcott, Raheem Sterling. Like that's 5 players straight away. And I could think of more, I'm sure. I could go and buy like a Sergio Aguero. I could go and get like a Romelu Lukaku. I could go and get the informed Gray, who's a fantastic player. I could go and get these players and basically never have to put fitness on my attack. My midfield the same. You know, I love Matic. Kante's big. Pogba. I've got SBC Chan, SBC Dembele. I've got the SBC Costa, who I put in midfield. I've got multiple choices in midfield as well that I don't even have to play players in midfield. At right back, I could use Bellerin, SBC, or Kyle Walker. At centre back, I could use alternation between the 3 centre backs. In goal, okay, I might have to apply the odd fitness card to De Gea. And then at left back, I don't have a great left back because I don't find there are too many great ones in the BPL, but I could easily go and get Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso and rotate those 2 instead. And boom, there you go. All of a sudden, I now don't have a need for fitness cards. But what that does is that removes the opportunity for me to use other sets of teams. Like when I use Marcelo and Modric Team of the Year cards, now all of a sudden I need fitness cards. Now that I'm using Florenzi, Manolas and Nainggolan, I now need fitness cards because I can't just swap out Florenzi for Bellerin, because then I'd also have to swap out Nainggolan and Manolas, and then I'd potentially also have to swap out other players in the team. So those are your alternatives. And, you know, like I say, what you can do is use a little bit of squad rotation, use a little bit of bronze pack method, keep the cards that you get, and have fun with it, essentially. And look at that for a team to come up against. You look at that team and you think, wow, right? You see 4 red cards, and that's impressive. But he's got 2 very low-end red cards. Okay, they are great cards to use in Hector and Embolo, but they are low-end. 1 average one in Socrates and 1 high-rated one in Muller. It's not too much to assume that he may well have just earned those over 3 months of getting gold or elite without going into top 100. However, enjoy the gameplay on this game. Next comment is from Domitru. Says, hey Neb, as you said that you've had problems with the 4-3-2-1, so I tried the 4-3-3-4 and it worked very good for me, so you should try it. I don't disagree. I've actually, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I've changed my team and formation a bit. And I started using the 4-1-2-1-2 in Foot Champs last weekend league, and I stopped changing to it because I got all antsy about gameplay. So we've been through it. I made mistakes in my formation changes. But one thing that interests me is every time I do a draft in Draft to Glory, there are certain formations that I use in Draft to Glory that I absolutely love using. And I never ever try to use them in Division 1 or in Foot Champs. And the 4-3-3-4, which if I'm correct is the one with 2 centre mids and 1 central defensive mid, and then left wing, right wing striker, I don't believe I've ever lost a draft with that formation. So why am I not using that formation? I expressed to you guys so many times, don't just do what other people do because it seems to work for them. Find what works for you, adapt and change minimally until you get exactly what works for you, and then go with that. And if somebody says to you, oh, why are you using that formation? This one's so much better. Tell them I use this formation because for me it works. So yeah, I would agree with you, Flo. I think this week, it's already Wednesday afternoon, and because of obviously what I've had going on this week, I've had very little time to get kind of into the grind of playing FIFA. I've been doing videos and getting, things like my, some personal errands sorted out and stuff like that. But hopefully this weekend or before this weekend league, hopefully Wednesday night, tonight and Thursday, I get to really sit down and test out a couple of teams and formations. That I want to try out that could be quite helpful and could just give me an edge that I haven't used before. And I've bought a lot of players on this club, which we'll see many episodes from now, that shows exactly that. And as I said, if you want spoilers, just look at my Twitter. I post a lot of it on social media. Overly Edge Meme says, when are the hoodies from your store coming back? They're currently sold out. Because I was unsure of my future, essentially, I haven't done anything in terms of merchandise. I didn't know where I was going or what was going on with my life. Now that I've got a clearer picture of how to pursue my future and rebuild my my career and everything, there will be merchandise coming again for the summer, essentially. Like we're going to start getting the designs made and getting the stuff made. So for those of you that are interested in the merchandise, I know some of you won't be, some of you will be. I actually like this one. This is a good t-shirt. I like wearing this t-shirt. But yeah, for those of you that are interested in the merchandise, it won't be too far away for restocks and new stuff. And thank you for asking. Ninjistic Gaming says, hey, I've tried reaching out to you on Twitter about this, but I don't think you've seen it, so hopefully you do on here. Do you think it is still worth doing the bronze pack method? I started a few days ago and put about 10k coins already into it, but would like your advice. Thanks in advance. I'm glad you aren't going anywhere. Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I was actually, funnily enough, talking about this to Nick last night. Bronze pack method, it is still viable. The reason why you still make money is because you're paying 400 coins for a pack that has 12 items. You only need to sell 2 of these items at 200 coins or 3 of these items at 150 coins to make guaranteed profit. And it is very, very rare that you won't be able to do that in the long term. Whenever you get an injury card, there are certain, like the all injury card sells for 1200, the foot injury card sells for 1200. There's a couple of the injury cards that sell for 400 to 500. The individual fitness cards will sell for 150 to 200 if you have to relist them sometimes. The squad fitness cards will sell between 700 and 1400. And then certain players will sell for a bit as well. The reason why the bronze pack method maybe isn't as effective as it was before now is because there are so many people doing it that it just doesn't, like, the players don't really have as much worth as they used to have. You remember, like, way back at the start, the first month or two of FIFA, if there was a squad building challenge that required a bronze or a handful of bronze cards, they would instantly go for like 5,000 to 10,000 coins. Now, they tend to instantly start at like 2,000 coins and very dramatically come down to about 500 coins. And the reason why that is because so many people have hoarded so many players that not only do they not need to buy them off the market to complete the SBCs for themselves, but so many people who don't care about the SBCs are dumping them onto the market, reducing their price. Case in point, the new SBC for Griffiths. You can complete that whole Scottish Premier League SBC for around 60,000 coins if you have no players, and that's 12 teams. So you're looking at about the price of about 5,000 coins per team, 11 players on a team. You're looking at about less than 500 coins per player, which again, most of them are bronze. Goes to show that you can get most players for 200, 300, or 400 coins in an SBC that, if half the people did bronze pack method that currently do, would have been 4 or 5 times the value. So in terms of in terms of what bronze pack method actually offers now, what it offers isn't necessarily the insane profits that it used to offer. Because many months ago, I would make there was an SBC that came out that required throughout the Christmas period or whatever, that required like a bronze team or whatever. And I literally made about 300,000 coins in one evening of just selling the items that I had and then opening packs and selling them. Now, if I did that exact same thing again, I'd probably make 50 to 60,000 coins because there's just more people doing it. But bronze pack method now is good because it stocks your club up for SBCs. It allows you to use the upgrade method for the silvers, the golds, and the rare golds for times like this where there are so many things in packs. It gives you unlimited contracts, fitness cards, injury cards, etc., and you are still guaranteed to make your money back. So whilst bronze pack method can no longer really be seen as a viable, huge income, you can't really now look at bronze pack method and think, yep, let me do bronze pack method every day and I'll make 20, 30,000 coins a day. You may now only make 2,000 to 3,000 coins a day if you were previously making 20 to 30,000 coins a day. But what it does give you is it gives a huge foundation to your club, which I think is quite important. As you can see, guys, after our first 20 games, we were 16 and 4, which, although we were 13 and 2 and we were 11 and 1, 16 and 4 is about where I want to be. I think for me right now, 32 wins, Elite 2, is a good balance. 16 and 4 is exactly half of the 32 and 8 that I would need over the course of the games. Unfortunately, I only finished on 27 wins this week, so I went 11 and 9 in my final 20 games, which is genuinely absolutely shocking. Interestingly, I was really enjoying the team that I was using through these games, which you're about to see on the screen right now. I was really enjoying this team and this formation. The problem I was having was that after I got in a little bit of a rut, I stopped switching to the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I stopped changing my tactics and instructions in game, and I lost my cool. I lost my head, and there's no one else to blame there but me. You know, I made huge mistakes trying to get those wins. I got frustrated. I was playing tired. I was playing like when I should have just gave it a rest. Like, I lost so many games in the next 20 games that part of my reasoning was I can't stop because I couldn't play on Sunday last weekend league. I had to get all my games done between Friday and Saturday. So I didn't have time to stop and take a break. But it probably would have been more beneficial for me to stop, had taken a break, played 2 or 3 games less. I probably would have got more wins in 37 games than I got in 40 games whilst playing through an angry period. So that was my bad. It was very silly. Definitely another lesson learned for going forwards into the weekend league. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.